Hello and welcome back. In today's video, we'll be talking about sexual reproduction in living organisms. As we have already discussed in the previous video, sexual reproduction involves formation of male and female gametes which fuse to form zygote. Gametes may be produced from a single parent such as hermaphrodites or from two parents of opposite sex. Fusion of male and female gamete will produce a zygote that develops and matures into adult individual, and they are not identical to each other or to their parents. The process of sexual reproduction is a slow, complex, elaborate and a properly sequenced process. It is also known as amphimixis, syngenesis or amphigony. Living world has great diversity. Organisms are different morphologically and physiologically, yet they share similar pattern in sexual reproduction. All the organisms have three phases in their life cycle. The first phase is juvenile phase, second is reproductive phase, and lastly it is senescence or aging. All the organisms must grow to maturity before they can start sexual reproduction. Juvenile phase, or the first phase of any organism's life cycle, is characterized by the period between birth till its reproductive maturity. The duration of juvenile phase varies among organisms. In plants, it is known as vegetative phase that starts with germination of seed and ends with initiation of flowering. An organism produces offsprings during the reproductive phase after attaining sexual maturity. In plants, the beginning of reproductive phase is indicated by initiation of flowering in them, and on the basis of flowering, plants can be categorized as monocarpic or polycarpic plants. They can also be categorized into annuals, biennials, and perennials on the basis of their lifespan. Let us understand the difference between monocarpic and polycarpic plants. As the name suggests, monocarpic plants produce flower once in a lifetime, and after formation of seed and fruit, they die. Polycarpic plants, on the other hand, produces flower many times during their lifespan and do not die after flowering and fruiting. Most of the annual and biennial plants are monocarpic, and most of the perennial plants are polycarpic in nature. What are annual, biennial and perennial plants? Annuals complete their life cycle in 1 year, and all the life phases occur in the same year. Rice, wheat, watermelon are examples of annual plants. Biennials have 2 years to complete their life cycle, wherein first year is for seed germination and growth, while second year is for flowering and fruiting to occur. Carrot and radish are biennials. Perennial plants, however, they live for more than 2 years and they have many seasons of flowering and fruiting after the growth is completed. Apple, mango and oranges, they belong to perennial plants. As the juvenile phase comes to an end in animals, there is onset of morphological and physiological changes in the body of organism that marks the beginning of reproductive phase. The length of reproductive phase also varies in different organisms. Based on the time of breeding, animals can be categorized as seasonal breeders and continuous breeders. Seasonal breeders reproduce at certain period of the year, like frog, lizards, deer, and most of the birds. Continuous breeders can breed throughout sexual maturity, which lasts for several years. Honeybee, queen, rabbit, mice, and us humans, we all are continuous breeders. Now, in the ovaries of placental mammals, Remarkable cyclic changes occur under the influence of hormones that also affect their reproductive behavior. There are two types of cycles: estrous cycle, that is a lifetime process and occurs in seasonal breeders. It is characterized by no loss of blood. On the other hand, menstrual cycle takes place in continuous breeder and it is characterized by periodic sloughing off of inner lining of the womb along with some blood. This takes place only till menopause. The last phase of life cycle is senescent phase or aging, that is end of reproductive phase, degeneration begins and it leads to death. In plants and in animals, hormones are responsible for the transition of phases. Interaction between hormones and other environmental factors regulate the process of reproduction, growth, and the associated behavior. Next lecture will be on events in sexual reproduction. Stay tuned. Thank you.